Hi everyone. Now we are going to discuss about one of the important topic in quantum mechanics. It is nothing but Schrödinger's time dependent and time independent wave equations. So in the earlier topics we discussed about the wave equation for a free particle. So by following of classical mechanics and by explaining the basic of de Broglie's hypothesis, so we know that we just considering a particle of mass m moving in a positive direction with the condition of precisely known momentum and energy. That means that we have no more chance of accurately measuring the position of the particle. So by following up that discussion, we achieved with the wave equation of a particle. So according to that, we discussed about the condition of wave function for the particle will be written as psi of x comma t, which represents the wave function with respect to space and time, will be equal to a e power minus I times of omega t minus kx. Otherwise, we'll substituting the values of px and e, momentum and energy. That means that we got the final term or final version of the equation of psi of x comma t will be equal to a e power I by h cross times of px minus et. So this is the equation which represents a plane continuous simple harmonic wave associated with a particle of accurately known momentum and total energy E, which is moving in the direction of x. So we are just going to start deriving Schrödinger's wave equation. So on the basis we just repeat the condition of a particle of mass m is moving in positive x direction under the action of force f of x, which is the function of x is the direction. So in such a field of force, the potential energy of the particle does not explicitly depend on time. So it is the function of x alone. So such a force is called as conservative force. So the momentum of the particle is p and the total energy is E as per the earlier discussions. So we say that the particle with a wave function will be derived as free particle of wave equation to be written as psi of x comma t will be equal to a e power I by h cross times of p of x minus et. So now the terms related to energy and momentum operator are to be calculated. So now we start deriving the general Schrödinger's wave equation. So we just start using up the wave function as the initial condition. So psi of x comma t will be equal to a e power I by h cross times of p of x minus et. So this is equation number 1. So now we just partially differentiate this equation with respect to the term x. So what you will get, you know well, it is become dou psi by dou x will be equal to a e power just find is x is on the term p is related with momentum. By means that we just find the power term came as it is, a is the constant, and because of this term you say I by h cross came out, and then if you differentiate the first term of p of x into x, you can get the final term of p of x, and then the exponential term remains as it is. So once I shuffle this equation to find out the final solution, you just notice that if I write dou psi by dou x as I by h cross times of p of x into e power or exponential of I by h cross times p of x minus et. So this term is nothing but the representation of the wave function psi. So I can write dou psi by dou x will be equal to I by h cross times of p of x into psi. So that is equation number 2. We already known well for getting of the wave function we had to go for second order differentiations. So while you are doing of the second order partial differentiation on equation 2, what you will get with respect to x alone. So you notice that it will become dou squared psi by dou x squared will be equal to I by h cross p of x as it is came, and then the wave function psi will be differentiated partially by means that we can get dou psi by dou x. So now we are just substituting the value of dou psi by dou x from this equation number 2. So I can get I by h cross times p of x into psi as it is. So if I go for manipulation, I can get it is I squared divided by h cross squared p squared psi. We know well I square will be given by the term minus 1. So the final equation, the final value of dou squared psi by dou x squared will be equal to minus of 1 by h cross squared times of p squared x into psi. So that is equation number 3. So by using up equation 3, we can get the final term of momentum p squared psi will be equal to minus of h cross squared times of dou squared psi by dou x squared. So that is equation number 4. Now we are just going to partially differentiate equation number 1 with respect to time t. So what we will get? So if I just differentiate equation number 1 with respect to t, I can get dou psi by dou t will be equal to a into I by h cross times of et is a term have with t. By means that if I differentiate here, I can get minus e in the outside. So we can get the final term of exponential of I by h cross times of p of x minus et as it is. So now I just shuffle the terms to get the final solution of what is the value of dou psi by dou t. As per the earlier case, you can get the final term of I by h cross times of minus e into psi. So you already known well, I have to change this term negative into positive by means that I just multiply and divide this equation by I. Both numerator and denominator I just multiply by the term I. So if I go for the term I, what you will get is I into I will be I squared. So I squared will become minus 1. So if I multiply minus 1 into minus e, I can get the positive term e psi divided by I into h cross. So that is equation number 5. So by using of this equation number 5, I can rewrite this equation as e psi will be equal to I h cross times of dou psi by dou t. So that is equation number 6. Now we are just going to derive with Schrodinger's time dependent wave equation. So you already known well the total energy is the sum of the kinetic energy and potential energy of the system. So you say E will be equal to Ke plus Pe. Ke represents kinetic energy and Pe represents potential energy. So you known well kinetic energy will be represented as half mv square and potential energy to be represented as capital V. So we just multiply and divide the term m for the simplicity of the calculations. So what you will get? So we can get the term m squared v squared divided by 2m plus v represents potential energy. So you already known well P equal to mv. So P will be the momentum is nothing but the product of mass into velocity. So with this term m squared v squared will be written as P squared. So you just mention suffix x which represents the particle is moving along x direction. That's all. So it is P squared divided by 2m plus v represents potential energy. So now we are just imposing with the wave function psi on both sides. So I can get E psi will be equal to P squared by 2m times plus v into psi. So that is equation number 7. Correct. So we have three equations. This equation number 7 and 4 and 6. We just find E psi. What we derived is E psi equal to this term P squared divided by 2m plus v into psi. And we already known the value of P squared psi and E psi. If I substitute the values of P squared psi on this equation along with E psi, so I can get the final equation like this. So I just change this E psi as I by h cross times of dou psi by dou t, and instead of the P squared psi, I can write it as minus of h cross squared divided by 2m as it is and dou squared psi by dou x squared plus v psi as it is. So this came with equation number 8. So this equation number 8 is the Schrodinger's time dependent wave equation in one dimensional form, because we are just saying that particle is moving in only x direction. Suppose you want to change this equation to 3 dimension, what you have to do is very simple. You just add a term of y and z as dou squared psi by dou y squared plus dou squared y by dou z squared. So this equation is the Schrodinger's time dependent wave equation in 3-dimensional form. So we just known that the Schrodinger's equation is the basic non-relativistic wave equation which is used in one version of quantum mechanics to describe the behavior of a particle in a field of force. So it is already informed that plenty of methods are available, like complex conjugate of psi is defined by Schrodinger. We are just trying to transform classical mechanics to quantum mechanics by using of de Broglie's hypothesis, or otherwise we have operator methods are there by mentioning of arbitrary operators for replacing of certain systems, and then we have one more change, ladder methods are there. So out of these methods, Schrödinger followed the utilization of conversion of classical mechanics into quantum mechanics on analyzing the wave function of a particle. So he utilized the concept of complex conjugate, the wave function psi. So that is the one we have just derived with equation for time, Schrödinger's equation of wave function with respect to time dependent properties. So this time dependent equation used for describing progressive waves applicable to motion of free particles. This one is the first part of deriving Schrödinger's Schrödinger's wave equation with respect to time dependent characteristics. Whereas if you just compile the equations, you just notice that the term on right side minus of h cross k by 2m, and then this term dou squared psi by dou x square plus dou squared y by dou y square and dou squared psi by dou x z square will be written as del square in a common term, and v psi as it is will be equal to I h cross times dou psi by dou t. So here you just notice each and every terms h cross is related with the Planck's constant h by 2 pi, and m represents mass of the particle being described, and del represents the del square operator. This quantity describes how the wave function psi changes from one place to other, whereas v represents the force acting on the particle, otherwise potential energy of the system, and I is the mathematical quantity which is called as imaginary number and is equal to square root of -1. Likewise, this dou psi by dou t, the term which describes how the wave function psi changes its shapes with respect to time. So you just notice that on the left side we have function of x, whereas right side we have function of t. So this is why we say it is time dependent wave equation. Now we are just going to derive Schrödinger's time independent wave equation. For that we just utilizing equation number 4 and 7 as it is. So you just notice that we have derived the term of p squared psi will be equal to minus of h cross squared dou squared psi by dou x squared. Likewise, E psi is derived as, equation number 7 is derived as E psi is equal to p squared divided by 2m times plus v into psi. So now I just try to replace the term of p squared with respect to this term in equation number 4. So I am just substituting equation number 4 in equation number 7. By means that I can get this term minus of h cross squared by 2m into dou squared psi by dou x squared plus v of psi. So now I just shuffle the terms from right to left, by means that I can get the final equation of, I just take over the term of h cross squared, all the terms on right side, by means that negativity will go back, by means that we have the final solution of h cross squared by 2m into dou squared psi by dou x squared plus e minus v times of psi will be equal to 0. For the simplification of this equation, I just multiplying the term, multiplying both terms with respect to 2m by h cross squared. By means that I get the final solution of dou squared psi by dou x squared plus 2m by h cross squared times of e minus v into psi is equal to 0. This is equation number 9, which is the Schrödinger's time independent wave equation in one dimensional form. You just notice that here there is no more term related to t will be there. T represent time. So by means that we say it is a time independent wave equation. So for the 3-dimensional motion, you just simply rewrite this term dou squared psi by dou x squared as like this, as like a del operator. So that equation number 10 represents 3-dimensional Schrödinger's time independent wave equation. I think you understand this topic well. We will meet you soon with next topic. Thank you.